Hey mate, before you enjoy today's episode, I wanted to take a moment to talk to you about the free 14-day transformation that we are currently running inside of the Unbreakable Man team. Now, if you're a man on the Gold Coast who's serious about improving his physical and mental health, building his self-confidence, and you want to become a part of a team of motivated and like-minded men, then this is the best chance that you are going to get. So as part of the 14-day transformation, you're going to get a personalized meal plan and a recipe cookbook to help you get your diet under control. You're going to be training with myself and the Unbreakable Man team for 2 whole weeks, and I'll be there by your side, helping you overcome any of the challenges that you will face along the way. If that sounds good, then get in touch with me by emailing me at mitch@unbreakableman.com.au. You can find all of my contact details on the website, which is just www.unbreakableman.com.au. Or you can message me on social media. Instagram is unbreakableman_challenge, and Facebook is just Unbreakable Man. That sounds good to you? Hit me up. I hope to hear from you soon. Back to the episode. Punches at people who are doing positive things, all that usually shows is that you're insecure. Is that, when you see other people trying hard or doing well in life, and you feel some negative feelings around that, all it does is highlight your insecurity. Hey mate, I'm Coach Mitch and welcome to the Unbreakable Man podcast. It's my goal to help you achieve excellent results in the area of your health and physical fitness, your career or business, your relationships, and in your own personal passions. This is going to be your one-stop shop if you are the kind of man who wants to achieve his fullest potential in life. And the only way to do that is by becoming unbreakable. What's up, brother? Coach Mitch here, and welcome to this week's episode of the Unbreakable Man podcast. Now, if you have been following along with the podcast for a little while, and you subscribe to the channel, you subscribe to the social medias, maybe you're even a part of the Unbreakable Man team already, then you know what the foundation of the Unbreakable Man message is. You know that this podcast and the discussions that we have are for men who are looking to create something truly special in their life. For men who are looking to fully understand what their true potential is in terms of how good their life could be, how good they could be from a physical standpoint, from a mental standpoint, from a professional standpoint, from an emotional standpoint. And just those guys who are committed to getting the most out of their life. Like, if you follow along with this, then what that's telling me is that that's your mindset, or at least you subscribe to that idea. Now, if you are watching this and that is a new concept to you, or that's not really what you are about right now, then this episode might be really triggering for you. This episode might leave you feeling personally attacked, because this episode is about 8 mindsets that I see in dudes that are losing in life. And a lot of the stuff that I'm going to discuss in this episode is it's a bit harsh, and it's not necessarily easy pills to swallow, because the truth of the matter is that if you want to be great in life, if you want to succeed on an outstanding level, and I don't mean you need to go and be Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos or a top athlete or anything like that. If you do, fantastic. I'm not talking about that level. I'm just mean to truly go above and beyond what anyone expects of you and to find out what you're capable of. If you want to do that, you're going to have to make peace with some harsh realities in life. And you're going to have to find your way around them. And so for most people, like I'm talking 95% of the population, most people do not want to accept these things. Most people want to believe that, their life isn't working out because of things that they can't control. And whilst there's a lot of stuff that's happening in life that absolutely can throw us off the path, at the end of the day, what it's going to come down to is your choices, my friend, and the ways that you decide to go and how you decide to conduct yourself. And I want that for you as well, my friend. I want you to be the fittest, strongest, most confident, and most competent man that you can be, so that you can have all of the rewards that life has to offer you. It's just not easy. And you have to be willing to accept the harsh realities that come with that and hold yourself to a much higher standard than the vast majority of people will hold themselves to. So if you're a man listening to this right now and you are dedicated to getting the most out of your life, then this is going to be a fantastic episode for you, because it's going to help you become aware of some of the loser thought patterns that we all have. I fall into these traps sometime myself, and I have to catch myself when I start to think these ways. But I want to make you aware of some of the ways that we can be impeding our own success through just thinking negative, crappy, loser thoughts. So today's episode is the 8 loser mindsets. I'm going to go through one by one. I've got them all here on the whiteboard. For those who are listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, obviously you can't see the video of this. If you're on YouTube, obviously you can tell exactly what I'm looking at right now. So the first of these 8 mindsets, fellas, is I'll do it tomorrow. The first of the 8 loser mindsets is I'll do it tomorrow. Now, the reason why I wanted to talk about this one is basically what that really refers to is guys who are waiting for the ideal or perfect time to get started on something that they really want to do in their life. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes timing is a factor, and sometimes there are better times to start things. But what I've found to be true most often in life is it's not about the timing, but about the time in. How long have you been doing the thing for that makes more of a difference than when you decide to start based on what's happening in your environment? You know, it's, for example, let's say you had shares in the stock market in 2008 when the big crash happened. Well, that would have been really crap if you just bought right before the GFC. However, if you had done that and you just didn't sell through that downtrend in the market and you still held those shares today, you would still be up 4 or 5x on your investment, simply because you were in the market for that length of time. So oftentimes it's not about when you start, boys, or finding the perfect time to get started on something that you want to do. It's just about how long you've been doing that thing for. So for example, if you want to get fit and strong and start to work on your health, and you're waiting for the perfect moment when the kids are a little bit older and, you know, it's just going to be a bit more convenient to get started. Look, okay, you can do that if you want to, but you're going to be worse off if you decide to do that than if you just try to do something from today onwards, even if it's something small. You'll be much better off if you just start as soon as possible. Now, sometimes having that mindset can mean that you do mistime things and maybe have to endure a little bit of hardship in the short term because maybe you started at a time that was a little inconvenient. However, the long-term outcome of you simply starting as soon as possible is you get to where you were trying to get to all along quicker. And you've wasted less of your time, less years of your life trying to figure this thing out because you just started sooner. I can't think of a single case where someone who started sooner did worse off than someone who started later, but at a technically better time. Don't wait till tomorrow, fellas. Whatever it is that you want to do in your life that would really make a difference to you, take action on it right away. Do not wait, lads. That is a loser mindset. If you want to be a winner, then be the kind of man who takes action on the things that he wants as soon as possible. Now, the next thing on here is, it is what it is. The next loser mindset is, it is what it is. And what this really stands in place of is men who accept things in their life that they are not happy with. You know, you just kind of shrug things off and go, it is what it is. You know, I can't change it. And that's a huge issue. Like, I speak to guys who tell me they want to do something and then list the reasons why they can't do it. And let's say, for example, that, a guy wants to start investing in himself, but he doesn't make that much money. It's like, okay, man, so this is how much money you're making right now, and like you're literally just making ends meet, and you can't do the next stage of your progress in life to get to where you truly want to be. So the other alternative is you stay where you are and never improve. If that's acceptable to you, then that's a loser mindset. You are accepting loss. You're accepting the fact that you are unable to get to that next point. You're accepting the fact that someone's only ever going to be willing to pay you a certain amount of dollars per hour. That's not enough. If a guy comes to me and says, I only make $30 an hour, so I can't afford to do X, Y, Z. Man, fair enough. Like, if the money's not there, then you haven't got the money. Fair enough. But then my question is, okay, so what are you doing to change that? What are you doing to change that? Because if you're doing nothing to change that, then that's a loser mindset. You are allowing that to happen to yourself. You are accepting that that's all you're ever going to be capable of, or all you're ever going to be worth. And that's how you are guaranteeing that you will lose in life, that you will never know what you could have done, how good you could have been, what kind of experience you could have had for yourself and provided to the other people in your life. Don't accept that, fellas. If you are not getting what you want out of life, do not accept that. Ask yourself, what do I need to do to change it? Because it isn't what it is. It is whatever you make it. If you make it this way that you're not happy with by not taking action, then you deserve not getting the results that you want. And I know, once again, I know that sounds harsh, and I told you right at the start of this video that this will seem harsh, but all I want to say is what is true. What seems to be the case based on some of the things that I hear from guys that aren't happy with where they are in life. We create that ourselves, boys, by accepting less than what we truly want. So it isn't what it is, it's what you decide to make it. Now, the next loser mindset on the list is, it's not my fault. It's not my fault that I'm overweight. It's not my fault that, my wife or my ex-wife acts a certain way that hurts me in my life. It's not my fault that, my boss is a dick, whatever it might be. Firstly, you better hope and pray that it's your fucking fault. You better hope and pray that it's your fault. Because when it's your fault, you have all the power to change it. I love when things are my fault. When something's my fault, then I get to actually do something about it. When something is somebody else's fault, then I have to wait for that person to make a change before I can get to where I'm trying to get to. And I can't rely on that. There can't be any conditions on my success. It has to be down to me. So I have to assume responsibility for whatever's going on in my life that I'm not happy with. You need it to be your fault, my friend. It has to be your fault that you're not healthy. It has to be your fault that your marriage didn't work out, or that, perhaps your relationship with your ex-partner isn't working out. And don't get me wrong, there are absolutely circumstances in our lives where other people's actions impact our reality. So I'm not saying that that's not the case, and I'm not saying that you can change it if that is the case. But what I'm suggesting is that you look for the ways in which you are responsible for creating that outcome. If again, I know lots of guys who have a very stressful relationship with their ex-partner, and it puts a lot of strain and stress on that guy. And a lot of those guys walk around with a lot of anger in their heart because they do not have control over some important areas of their life. A lot of anger, and all of that anger is directed towards their ex-partner. And that person might deserve it, but it literally changes nothing. And all it does is often That anger becomes resentment, which becomes depression, which becomes alcohol addiction. And all these dominoes just start to fall because we're not taking responsibility for how we ended up in this situation. And just by taking responsibility, it doesn't necessarily change anything in the moment. But what I find is when I take responsibility for something that perhaps somebody else is doing to me, then I learn what I need to do in the future to never end up in this situation again. Even if I'm still dealing with the effects of the situation today, I learn where I messed up. And I learn what I need to do differently next time to make sure I do not end up in this situation again. And that makes me a better person. That makes me a winner, which is what this episode is about. A loser becomes a victim and allows themselves to be victimized and to be the victim of a situation that they believe they have no control over. If you're in a situation right now that's really getting to you, that you have no control over, the best thing you can do is put it aside. Because you don't have any control over it. If that's truly the case, there's nothing you can do. You have no control over it, then there's not even any point worrying about it. A simple exercise would be for you to write down the problems that you have in your life right now and then put them into 2 columns. Things you can change, things you cannot change. Everything that goes in the cannot change column, cross it off the paper, throw it in the bin. Focus on the things you can change. Take responsibility. Number 4 on the list. It's just not my thing. It's just not my thing. So what this means is when I have, I've noticed this before. I have a guy telling me that they want to achieve a certain result. They want to be a certain kind of man. And then when faced with the actions that they are required to take in order to create that result or become that kind of man, the response is, it's just not my thing. This just isn't something that I like to do. And look, I totally get it, man. You might fucking hate it. But here's the thing, dude. If you're trying to get to a certain place in life, a truly uncommon place, a place where you feel great within yourself every single day. I'm not just talking physically, but I mean mentally, emotionally as well. Things are working out in your life. People respect and love you. Then you're going to have to do a lot of stuff that you actually don't like to do. You're going to have to do a lot of things that aren't your thing. You're going to have to make them your thing if you want to become that kind of person. Because the man that you're thinking of today, this ultimate version of yourself, who's realized all of his potential, I'm telling you right now, that guy had to do a lot of things that he really did not want to do. They were absolutely necessary in the pursuit of becoming who he is. And that needs to be you as well. For example, you might be going, I don't want to learn how to defend myself physically because I don't like fighting. It's just not my thing. It's like, okay, cool. Well, you're never going to be as good as you could be if you knew how to defend yourself physically as a man, as someone whose role is to be the protector of the people that they love. If you decide not to take on that responsibility, that's okay. That's your choice. It's your life. But you are not as good as you could be if you decided to do that. I'm not really an exercise guy. It's just not my thing. It's like, okay, fair enough. But you are not as good as you could be if you just did what you needed to do and got yourself fit and exercise regularly. You are not as good as you could be. You are limiting your own ability to create a great life for yourself. It might not be your thing. That's okay. But the guy who you want to be, you can believe that it's that guy's thing. And you need to make it your thing if you want to be that guy. If you don't want to be that guy, don't worry about it. But again, you're accepting less than what you really want. That's a loser mindset. I know it sounds harsh. I get it. And you might think I'm a dickhead after listening to this, and I accept that. But there's plenty of things in my life that I do not want to do. I do them every day or every week. anyway because there's a place I'm trying to get to. And I accept that I have to do things that I don't want to do in order to get there. So if something that you need to do is not your thing, then you better start making it your thing. Just take it baby steps, one step at a time. Not only will it be good to learn that new thing that isn't your thing, it will also make you a better person simply because you are now taking actions that you don't necessarily feel like doing, but you're doing them anyway because you know it's right. You become a better person as a result of that. That is part of the training that's going to help you become the kind of man that you're here to try and become. Next thing on the list, this one I hear all the time. It's the dumbest fucking thing that I get from guys when I'm talking to them. They say they're an all or nothing kind of guy. I either give 100% or I give nothing at all. And what I really find funny about that phrase is that I'm yet to hear anyone who's truly successful tell me something like that. I never hear that from guys who are absolutely killing it. No guys who are killing it tell me that. Only guys who are failing to get what they want out of life say that exact phrase. Only those guys. Because what's really funny is they say, I'm either 100% or I'm 0%. Again, the bit that I find the funniest is, which one are they usually? They're usually fucking 0%, aren't they? I'm very, very rare is it, probably never. I can't remember a single time where I've had a conversation with someone where they said they're either 100% or 0%, and they're actually 100%. They're always 0%. They're always the guy doing fuck all. And that's the reason why they're achieving fuck all and getting fuck all in their life. Don't be 100% or 0% person. There's no such thing as giving 100% to one thing in your life. If you're listening to this, you're a man who has 3, 4, 5 big responsibilities that he has to look out for in his life every day. You know, you have yourself. You might have a family. You might have a house to look after. You might have full-time employment. You know, there's 4 things right away that are big responsibilities that take up your time and energy. You can't give 100% to any of those things, let alone, you know, your health or your mental health or anything like that on top of it. You're always splitting your energy and attention in several different ways. So no one's giving 100% to any one thing. There's no such thing as 100% or 0%. You give your best in each of those efforts, in each of those areas of your life, but you're still splitting your attention however many ways. And I just really see that as an excuse to not do anything. People say I'm either all in or I'm nothing at all. It's so that they can be nothing at all without feeling like it's their fault or feeling like, you know, it's acceptable. It's not acceptable. You're losing, bro. Maybe just try and give 10% then, because 10% is a hell of a lot better than 0%. Do not be an all or nothing person. Just get the job done and do the best you can with how much time and energy you've got right now. And then if in the future you're able to put more time and energy into it, then put more time and energy into it. Don't stop saying that to yourself. I'm either all or nothing. That's bullshit. Because usually you're nothing. 99.99% of the time, people who say that are actually nothing. They're not all. So just do what you can as soon as possible with whatever time and energy you have left to start to work on this thing that you want to do. The next thing on the list, very, very simple one, we've probably kind of touched on it a few times already, is I can't do it. Just being the kind of person who reinforces that they're not capable of things in their life. You've got to be really, really careful with what you say to yourself, because your subconscious mind is listening to you and watching what you do at all times of the day. It knows you better than anyone else on this planet, probably even better than you know yourself, because it's aware of all the little things that you do that you might just do on autopilot. But it sees those things. And when you start to tell yourself you can't do something, if you say that enough times, you will believe it, and then you'll stop trying, and then you really will fail. Now, it's absolutely feasible and likely that if you're trying to do something that you've never done before, that your skill in that area is not going to be that great. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You may not be able to do it today, this exact second. Most of the things I want to do, or what I need to do to get to where I'm trying to get to, I'm not great at right now. I'm in the process of learning. But I'm never going to tell myself it's not possible for me. I'm never going to tell myself that. I'm always going to say, okay, well, I don't know right now. How can I find out? How can I become the person who can do this thing? Those are the questions you need to ask yourself. Okay, today, I am not capable of this action. But what do I need to do to become capable of it? It's not that I can't do it. It's just that I'm not currently at the level I need to be at to do it consistently. So you've really got to watch the words that you say to yourself, because somebody is listening and somebody is taking notes and somebody is applying those things in your life every day. And I mean, your subconscious. And it's affecting your ability to try and push yourself in the future. Now, the second last one on here, I want to hear all the time, and that's happy wife, happy life. And the reason why I say that that's a loser mindset is because of how men, or how that is traditionally understood. Happy wife, happy life. Because I do think that that is true, but the bit that most people get wrong, most men get wrong, is what they need to do to actually keep their wife happy and interested in the relationship. Because what most men think of when they see that, or how most men apply that phrase, that concept, is I just give my wife whatever she wants and she'll be happy. You know, I'll just let her choose, and that way I can't get it wrong, and she'll be happy. That is the worst thing you could possibly do in your relationship, dude. Because your wife wants you to be a leader. Your wife wants to be able to trust your judgment. Your wife wants you to be the man who knows what the best thing is to do, and then is capable of leading her and your family to a better place in life. That's who your wife wants you to be. That's who your wife wished she had married. And sometimes that is going to create some arguments in the short term, because you're taking on this leadership role and it might not be exactly what she wants to do right now. But if you are able to show that through taking the actions that you take consistently, you're able to create a better outcome for yourself and her and your family if you have kids together, then she's not going to care. She's actually going to be like, wow, my man is so good. I'm so glad I'm with a guy who has it together, who is capable of making the correct decisions and then doing the work to make the outcome the way we need it to be. She's going to love and respect you more for becoming that kind of person. But you have to follow through, because then otherwise she loses all trust and respect for you, and then you don't get that happy life you're looking for. It's so important in a relationship that your wife respects you, that she sees you as a leader, a role model, and a guy who's capable of taking her and the family to a beautiful place in life. That's really all she wants from you, man. And that means that sometimes you're not going to give her exactly what she wants in the moment. Sometimes you have to do things differently. As long as the long-term outcome is positive and better for everybody, and you prove that time and time again, she'll trust you and respect you and therefore love you even more. And that's how you create a happy life, and that's how you have a happy wife. So it's not about just doing every single thing for her that she says she wants. It's about becoming the kind of man that she truly wants to be with, and then consistently showing up as that guy and creating a better life for yourself and the family. Now, the last thing on here, and it's kind of a funny one, but it literally just says gay ... And the reason why I wrote gay is because this is often a comment that I get on my promotions and advertisements on Facebook and Instagram. You know, so people will see, you know, my program, my challenge coming up, and obviously it's a men's program, so, you know, it would be a bunch of guys working out, or we'll be hiking or something like that. And some dudes will comment something like, "You guys are gay," or something like that. It's really, really funny stuff. Very, very witty. And so basically what this loser mindset is talking about is about if you ever criticize people who are doing something positive, if there's a part of your mind that instantly goes to nasty and mean when you see that someone's trying very hard or someone's trying to do something good for themselves or other people in their life. If your brain switches to nasty and mean, so I don't think anyone listening to this is going to leave a comment like that. But even if you just think it for half a second, then that's a loser mindset. You know, if you're throwing punches at people who are doing positive things, all that usually shows is that you're insecure. Is that, you know, when you see other people trying hard or doing well in life and you feel some negative feelings around that, all it does is highlight your insecurity. Now, here's the thing, man. That's totally natural, you know, because we do compare ourselves to other people. So when we see someone else doing really well, you know, perhaps someone that we thought in the past that maybe we were better than that person, and then we see them actually doing things that kind of show that they're doing better than us, then some of those thoughts and feelings can come up in our brain. And it's not something that we necessarily choose to think. It just happens. It's just that kind of monkey brain kicking in. But it's up to us to squash those thoughts and feelings, because that's a loser mindset. To be critical of people who are doing positive things. If you are that kind of person, or you what's the word? You kind of talk down about people's positive actions, outcomes, or achievements, then you're losing in life. You're showing that insecurity, and you know, you're not becoming the kind of person who's likely to have those positive outcomes, actions, and achievements in your own life. Because once again, that part of your brain that is subconscious is listening to the things that you're saying. And if you're the kind of person who critiques people who do well or who are trying hard, then you are not going to want to try hard yourself, because you've demonstrated over and over again that leads to criticism, your own criticism. You know, another example is if you go into the gym and let's say you're in good shape and you see someone in there who's obese, you know, they're just starting in the gym, they're trying to get better. If you notice some kind of nasty or negative thoughts come up about that person, that's a big problem, man. That's a loser mindset. You should be looking at that person and going, great, awesome. You're in the right place, man. You're taking those steps. I support that. You know, maybe even let that person know if you want, if you start to talk to him. But the point is, squash negative thoughts about other people, whether it's other people who are trying hard or other people who are doing well in life. Whenever you start to think a little bit like that, I want you to recognize that's a loser mindset. It's only hurting you in life. It's only inhibiting your own ability to push yourself to create those great outcomes. And it's also reducing the likelihood that you're going to meet people who can help you create great outcomes as well, because you're already judging people who are doing better than you, but you need the people who are doing better than you to help you get better. So you're never going to find those people because all you're doing is judging them negatively, even though they are where you wish you were. So don't be that guy at all. That is a fantastic way to show how insecure you are. So look, those are the 8 loser mindsets. Now, if you have any other loser mindsets that you can think of, I want you to comment them down below. I'd love to hear what some of your suggestions are for this as well. And I just want you to remember as well, man, that I'm not saying that you are a loser or I am a loser or anyone else is a loser for having these thoughts pop up in our head or for saying these things sometimes. All I'm saying is that if you keep thinking like that, you will have a life that looks like a loser's life. And you can decide at any point to start to think in ways that are total opposite to this. You can decide at any point to do that. And trust me, your life is going to be a hell of a lot better if you do. So yeah, look, you know, even if that seemed a bit harsh, man, if there was anything throughout that, and that's another thing too, you've got to be capable of taking criticism as well. and this is something that I've had to train myself in, is people telling me stuff that isn't necessarily positive, but trying to find the lesson in that somewhere. Maybe that person's right. Even if they're trying to insult me, maybe they have a point, and maybe there's something I could do better, even though they're throwing some hate my way. And then you get to use that as a tool to help you improve. So even if something that you heard in this episode really ground your gears or made you upset or got under your skin or made you say, fuck you, Mitch, you have no right to say that. Fair enough, man. But if that's the case, then look for something within what you heard that you didn't like that could be a tool to help you improve yourself. Look for that little gem in amongst all of the crap that you think I just said, okay? Look for that gem, because it's in there somewhere, guaranteed. If something really hit you hard or made you upset, there's a reason for it. And you'll be able to improve if you find out what that reason is, because now you'll know what you can change. You'll know how you can better yourself. So with that said, man, I hope you enjoyed the episode. Again, comment down below if you have any other loser mindsets that you think should have been added to that list. And mate, enjoy the rest of your day, and I look forward to speaking to you again on the next episode. Cheers. Hey mate, I hope you enjoyed that episode of the Unbreakable Man podcast. If you did, it would be absolutely fantastic if you could leave us a 5-star review, because that's going to help us get our message in front of more men who need to hear it. Now, if you have some feedback for me, I'd love to hear that too. Comment down below. And if you just need some mini doses of Unbreakable Man motivation throughout your week, then you can follow us across all social platforms. On Facebook, it's Unbreakable Man Challenge. On Instagram, it's Unbreakable Man_challenge. And on TikTok and YouTube, it's just Unbreakable Man. Your support would be absolutely invaluable. Now, last but not least, do not forget, men aren't born, they're built.